I want to break free.
I'm older than you. Shouldn't you give up your seat? We're family. Why are you being so stingy about money? I sacrificed everything for you. How can you be so ungrateful? We encounter these rapid-fire demands in our most private and public moments alike. On the surface, these interactions lack any explicit physical threat. They are delivered calmly and framed as simple logic regarding duty or respect. Yet the person on the receiving end often feels a visceral, suffocating sensation of being backed into a corner. That feeling of being trapped is the intended outcome. It is the signature of a psychological manipulation tactic known as moral kidnapping. Moral kidnapping functions by deploying rigid social expectations to override your right to say no. It replaces your individual choice with a forced script of communal duty, effectively stripping away your agency. These interactions represent a persistent erosion of the self. By using high-minded ideals to crush individual choice, they exert a silent, suffocating force, a form of invisible violence used to command behavior without ever raising a fist. To execute this tactic, a manipulator relies on the concept of the grand narrative. These are the massive societal pillars that structure our lives, things like cultural tradition, religious doctrine, or strict age hierarchies. The hijack begins when the manipulator stops arguing with you as an individual. Instead, they verbally wrap themselves in one of these grand narratives to gain an immediate psychological advantage. In technical terms, this is a dimensionality reduction attack. By hiding inside a massive societal concept, the manipulator destroys the level playing field of a normal argument. They drop the weight of an entire civilization onto a minor personal disagreement. Your individual standing is completely erased in the process. You are no longer an adult making a choice. You are reduced to a target failing to meet a sacred expectation. This maneuver artificially elevates the manipulator. They are no longer just a person asking for money or a favor. They become the personification of loyalty, respect, or faith itself. This shift occurs in a fraction of a second. It forces you to reconcile a small personal request with a massive civilizational weight, creating a moment of intense cognitive friction that makes a simple no feel impossible to utter. The manipulator's power doesn't come from the facts of the dispute. It comes from the optical illusion of speaking on behalf of millions of people just to win a petty personal argument. To understand why we cave to this pressure, we have to look at the specific psychological levers being pulled inside us. The first lever is the fear of social exile. The manipulator frames your refusal as a betrayal of your entire culture or faith. They make you feel that asserting a boundary will instantly turn you into an outcast from your own community. The second lever is the exploitation of your own kindness. Your natural reverence for tradition and your empathy for the vulnerable are treated as currency. The manipulator spends your own good qualities to purchase your compliance. This process relies on the forceful blurring of personal boundaries. A decision that should be a personal, free choice, like deciding to be generous or forgiving, is converted into an external, mandatory obligation. Your goodness is no longer a choice, it's a debt you are being forced to pay. Caving to this pressure does not demonstrate your virtue. It only confirms that the manipulator has successfully identified and exploited your lack of psychological boundaries. Defeating moral kidnapping requires a shift in how we view the grand narratives themselves. We have to strip the manipulators of their masks. True culture acts as the soil that nourishes the individual. When it is used as vines to bind and restrict you, it is no longer serving its purpose. It is being weaponized. Genuine faith is a tool for inward self-purification. It is meant to be a guide for one's own heart, not a gavel used to judge or control the actions of others. You can build a psychological defense by intellectually severing the manipulator from the label they are hiding behind. You can hold a deep respect for your traditions while entirely rejecting the person who is abusing those traditions to get their way. Maintaining this defense requires you to accept being imperfect in the eyes of the manipulator. You must be willing to let go of the need to be seen as the perfect relative or the perfect believer by those who are actively exploiting those titles. True kindness, authentic culture, and genuine faith require the presence of free will to hold any meaning. Without the ability to say no, your goodness is merely compliance. You must defend your boundaries first, because ultimately, only a free person can truly participate in the world.
This is the brief on the HenRen Manual's 5 levels of mental models. Basically, this manual is your ultimate arsenal, 50 curated cognitive models designed to stop you from being exploited. You know, Charlie Munger said, relying on just one mental model is kind of like building a house with only a hammer. We need a full toolkit, right? Pouring the foundation at level 1 before building the roof at level 5. First, the foundation, chapters 1 through 20. Level 1, chapters 1 to 10, is cognitive awakening, reclaiming your brain using the dichotomy of control. Level 2, chapters 11 to 20, is mastering underlying laws, using first principles in Occam's razor to hit the core truth. So, how much of your daily anxiety is actually just a narrative fallacy forced onto you by your environment? Second, the arsenal, chapters 21 through 40. Shifting to dynamic action, level 3 builds high-dimensional weapons in chapters 21 to 30, with decision trees and OODA loops. Level 4 is dominating value games, chapters 31 to 40, teaches negotiation via your BATNA and spotting manipulation. Now that sounds Machiavellian, but understanding dark triad traits is absolutely essential for your own self-defense. Finally, the Empire, chapters 41 to 50. Level 5 establishes the empire of the capable, leveraging personal wealth, monopoly thinking, the flywheel effect, and endgame thinking to turn accidental success into inevitable exponential growth. It's a 5-step, 50-chapter roadmap, going from clearing mental fog to building a self-sustaining, unbreakable personal empire. Subscribe to the channel for free now to get more videos for your self-improvement.